Hey, we are here. We are live. We want to thank everybody for tuning in to our Sunday's conversation on the Just Saying podcast. Of course, I am Ferman along with the one and only herself. Go ahead and say who you are, ma'am.
The one and only Low, Larissa.
And
This is going to
also,
be a fun Sunday. Yes. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining in. Appreciate everybody and their support.
most that we do thank everybody for tuning in with us here on this special, of course, Sunday. This is something that we do mostly every other Sunday, of course. We just thank everybody for continuing supporting us, and big shout out to Herman that's in the comment section on the YouTube side. So big shout out to him. Thank you, sir. And hats off to you for taking time out your was a productive schedule to hang out with us here on this great Sunday evening, of course. We hope everybody had a great weekend. You know what I'm saying? The
Mhm.
weekend is almost over with, of course. You know, Monday, everybody go back to work, go back to school. We know the holidays are coming upon us. We know people have family coming into town, people going out of town to spend time with family. But also, we have those who don't have family. We have those who are less fortunate. And we always, learn to always want to give God thanks for everything that we have. And a lot of
Yeah.
times, as people, we do complain a lot, but we forget about those who are less fortunate, and they would love to be in a position that me and you are in right now, with a roof
Yeah.
over our head, food in the refrigerator, with completely our head at night, transportation go back and forth, and they would love to be in a position we're in. But we were ever grateful for being here,
Yeah.
always, and that's the most important thing. And we're gonna be talking about health with our Sunday's conversation. For those who may not have been knowing, I really never broadcasted to everybody, but back in January of 2025, I was diagnosed as a type 2 diabetic, which means I put on a lot of weight, having health issues, you name it.
Mhm.
So when my doctor told me back in January, big shout out to Dr. Dunbar here in Arlington, Texas. Big shout out to him.
Mhm.
We had a conference call, do the conference call, and I took it low as motivation. A lot of times people want to get on social media and want to, oh, why this happened to me and all this other stuff. But I took that as motivation to get better. So I told my doctor, I'm in your laboratory. You know what I'm saying? It's always about bringing a better version of Ferman. And
Yeah.
I trust my doctor. And now to that, Larissa, when I was diagnosed, I got online. I did a lot of research. What can a type 2 diabetic can't eat? But let's get to the point. I was never on insulin. I
Mhm.
never took. I'm not on that old Ozempic. I'm not on none of that stuff.
Mhm.
What I have is reversible. I don't have to take no insulin. My doctor said everything on you is good. Your liver is good. Everything is good. You would just want to get your cholesterol back. We want to get that reversed. I said, okay, cool. So we went from work from there. So
Mhm.
I was like at 344. I'm down to, I lost like 81 pounds going to when they did it last time I got checked. But anyway, so I went to the doctor, did my lab work. Everything came back to normal. And it
Mhm.
lets me know that everything working in me is normal again, of course. I got to give God the glory for that. But most importantly,
Yes.
put in the work. So
Yep.
when my doctor was looking at the progress, how my blood pressure was back to normal again, but he's the key word, low. He said, Fermi, you listen.
Mm.
And that's what he said, you listen, because you have to take your life seriously, folks. They go for me. Well, we got to take our lives serious when it comes to our health,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to our community. We lead in a lot of negative categories when it comes to our health. Diabetes, high blood pressure, cholesterol, you name it. We always lead, and then we wait till the last minute to get it taken care of. That's why I encourage anybody, Lord, if you have insurance, especially to the fellas, I'm an advocate for the fellas, and I know even though ladies be holding it down, but I'm encouraging the
Mhm.
fellas. You got insurance, man, go get checked out. If you sneeze, still go get checked out because you never know what's going on with you. And I think it was a study at one time. I don't know if it's true or not, but they said,
Can I? Yeah, I'm sorry,
go
Ferman,
ahead.
and I know I want you to tell your story, but let's. Do you mind if I interrupt you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so while we're talking about diabetes, so let's talk about what it is. I think is explain what it is. So type 1 diabetes is caused by an autoimmune reaction that destroys the insulin producing beta cells in the pancreas. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so it involves your pancreas, your liver, all of that. It's a malfunction in it. Okay, likely triggered by and this is easy information you can find out about. It's likely triggered by a combination of genetic factors and environmental influences like things that we eat, especially growing up in our household. If you come from households that literally depend on where their next meal is going to come from, um, and look, that could be talked about in a different series as far as what they offer at grocery stores or fast food restaurants for it within our community, because it is all by design. Like, think about it. Like, if you go to wealthy areas, you're not going to see like the Taco Bell, the KFC, the Popeyes as abundant. You're going to have that, but you're going to have so many other abundant, healthier choices. Okay, so don't get it twisted. It's all by design. Okay, I think that's why it affects the Black community even more. Type 2 diabetes, develops from insulin resistance. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
where the body cells don't use insulin effectively. All right,
Right.
over time, the pancreas may not be able to make up enough insulin to keep up. Okay, major risk factors include a family history of diabetes, being overweight. But
Mm-hmm.
look, I want to point out, by if you're overweight, that does not mean that you necessarily have diabetes. Okay, it's just an at risk factor. Okay, I've known many um, overweight people that is set by our standards here in America, where they are overweight, but they do not have diabetes. Okay, um, diets rich in saturated fats, refined carbohydrates, sugary drinks, processed meats are all linked to an increased risk. And I want to like really push the fact that it's an increased risk. So, there you go. There's Now I do want to talk about, there's a thing called um gestational diabetes. It occurs in pregnancy as well, um, and that's a whole nother topic. A lot of times, it kind of goes away, but sometimes it stays with you as well. Diabetes is something that is definitely should be taken serious. Okay, um, so I wanted to explain that to the viewers who do not necessarily know what diabetes is. Okay, I think that should be the first factor. Okay, so there are two types, type 1 and type 2. I just explained it. So if look, don't take my word. You definitely have, hey, ALJ, I'm sorry. We always got to show love to our, look, we always have to show love to everybody who support us, who has been there since day one. Okay, thank you, because this is important information um, for my Black brothers and sisters. This, like, seriously. With that being said, I'm gonna give it back to Ferman so he can continue his story. I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but I feel like
No, no, no.
to explain what it is. But go
Well,
ahead.
yeah, no. I mean, that's what it's all about. So, I'm saying, you ain't doing anything wrong. That's what it's all about, because it's bringing awareness to the table. A lot of things we don't look off into, and it's bad that when it happened to me, I had to start looking off into it. Why I didn't take it seriously until it affected me. You got to think about it. When you're diabetic, that's nothing to play with. You
So
have
let's
people.
talk about what it affects though, Ferman, because I think
Right.
that's important. Diabetes just doesn't affect your pancreas or your liver. It can literally affect your heart. It can affect your kidneys, most definitely.
Right.
First and foremost, it can literally affect every organ, major organ within your body. So definitely know that. Okay. But go ahead.
Yeah, it does, and it affects everything if you're not careful. 'Cause you have people who lost limbs, having stuff amputated off them due to diabetes. You can actually go blind. That's another thing that happens. A lot of people go blind as well. So that's
Yes.
something.
It affects your eyes. Yep.
Yeah. So you have to take that seriously, ladies and gentlemen, and just love yourself. Just really love yourself, and that's what I did. I just did what I supposed to do with my doctor, and we got this ball on the road. Everything's back to normal again. But at the same time, is maintaining where I'm at right now in my life. Because if you're not careful, if I'm not careful, I don't want to slip right back off into that negative category. If that makes sense. So I have to make sure that I'm monitoring myself, policing myself at the
Mhm.
same time, and make sure and hold my own self accountable, but also those who love you as well will hold you accountable as well, but also hold yourself accountable, and just make sure you just take care of yourself. Because I see that's motivation. Look, I really
Mhm.
did. I see that's motivation to get my life together and get my life on track. And then think about it, when you start losing weight, you
Mhm.
feel good about yourself. You see the difference in your clothes. You see the difference in your features, how you operate, how you move, the energy, just all that stuff. And the marathon still continues, of course. You know what I'm saying? Not to fall off the horse, but keep riding it until and just keep maintaining it. That's how I have to say, maintain it like a car. When you get your car maintained, you gotta make sure you keep the car maintenance on that car. If not, the car gonna break down on you. And our bodies will do the same thing. So you have to take care of yourself. That's all I want to say on that one. Just
I do want to mention something. Um, Losing weight isn't just enough. Okay. Um, and I want to ask you about this here. So the first thing I believe, and this is the thing that people should do. Okay, day's history, because diabetes can be genetically passed down. Okay.
yeah.
Um, my personal belief in the past was literally the reason why they would say these things is because Lord, what's that on my face? It's grew up
Mm,
in a household as a woman, okay? And my mom always cooked certain foods that weren't healthy, foods um that what I just read that should have been avoided. Guess what? If my mama's cooking it, guess who's gonna cook it? Me. I'm
mm,
gonna cook it. Okay. So those were things that would be put in my body. Um, I remember like man, it's just so crazy. So, and I want to say this here: just because you lose weight doesn't mean it's always a great thing. A lot of the times when your A1C is super super high, so I want, and everything that I'm saying, we're gonna bring this here up with we're backing it up, okay? So losing weight involves combining a balanced diet with regular physical activity. We already know
exactly.
this here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but what happens when you lose weight you know, with diabetes? Like, how is that an issue? Well, it's due to your high A1C levels. Okay. Now, when we talk about normal A1C levels, and that's something, and I want to point out something really important. So, when you go for your yearly physical, if you have insurance through your employer, okay, a lot of the time they have what they call preventive measures where you do not have to pay. Okay. And that is a test, but You have to be proactive in your own health. And that's what my boy Ferman is trying to say. You got to love yourself. But it goes beyond loving yourself. It has, there's knowledge that needs to be researched and explained to you thoroughly, especially if you do not get it. Okay. A lot of people back in my day would call it sugar. So if you don't know what diabetes mean or diabetes, what diabetes is, it's sugar. Okay. Just because you do a finger prick, that tells you what your glucose, because that's literally what it is, and that's why they call it sugar. Okay, glucose and sugar is technically the same thing. Okay, but that's what it is at that moment. Okay, but your glucose levels rise and drop throughout the day, especially when you eat or when you sleep and you wake up. A lot of the times your glucose levels can be low in the morning, unless you're like a diabetic with an A1C that is super duper high. Okay. It can cause gastroparesis, and that's something I'm going to talk about a little bit later. And the reason why I know so much about this here, because I have family members that have been insulin dependent for years. My mother is an insulin dependent diabetic. My brother, insulin dependent diabetic. Unfortunately, with a combination of high blood pressure, cholesterol, and especially his diabetes, he died very young. He was 35 years old. 35 years old. Okay. Um, it affected so many major issues with him. Um, and that's why it's so important. This topic is super important because no one deserves the pain. And I really feel like no one deserves the pain that my family and I went through with losing my brother. He was my only sibling. Okay. And he was super freaking smart, but I wish he was. I wish he was super smart enough to really take care of his diabetes. But you know what? God makes no mistakes. Okay, it was his time. It was his time. I had to really accept that, and it's a hard pill to swallow. Um, but we have to understand what is a normal diabetic level. Okay, it's so important. So normal. And when you go to the doctor, when I talk to, okay, so let me go back because I feel like I'm jumping from here to here. So let me go back to what a person should ask when they go to the doctor. So when you go to the doctor, whether or not you have insurance throughout whatever, insurance can be, you can get insurance because President Obama pushed for insurance for all Americans. Okay. Um, I am not employed with the employer who had me, who I was insured under. And when I tell you it was horrific, it was horrific. Years ago, I was literally considered a diabetic. Okay, myself, and I'm gonna show some pictures, actually, some before and afters. I think that's important. Now, I was never a big girl.
Right.
Um, Technically, right now, I range, and according to American standards, I'm 5'3", and my weight, and I know we're mentioning weight, but that is something that you hear that doctors mention all the time. My weight has been technically between 105 and 120, or
Mm-hmm.
I should say 118. Let's just put it that way.
Okay.
Um, at my biggest, I was 174. Now, to most people, I was literally considered thick. Okay, I was my shape did not look as if I was that large in weight. I'm 5'3", for God's sakes. Okay, so it just looked like I was just thick. with a small waist, thick everywhere else. You know what I'm saying? So, it is what it is. But I knew I wasn't healthy, especially when I went to the doctor. So what I asked the doctor for, and you have to ask the doctor as well. Tell them you want to do a complete blood workup. Okay, they will not just do a blood workup on your A1C. And your A1C is an average of your glucose levels over the past 3 months. Okay. So that's something that is very important as well. You have to understand that. Um, and that's how they determine whether or not you're really a diabetic. Um, so when you go to the doctor, make sure you ask for that. All right. And ask for everything. A lot of women and men are also, and that's going to be another topic for another time, have high THC levels. Oh Lord, I said the wrong thing.
Mhm.
You know why I said the wrong thing? Because I was thinking about something that had passed a law
Hmm.
recently, and it's been on my mind
Got
within
you.
the state of Texas. That's, yeah, THC. Oh
Mm.
my God, that's funny. Lord have mercy. So, back to what I was saying. Oh my God. Oh Lord, I can't conversate with people about different things when I prior to the show, boy. I swear to God. But anyway, getting back to that, you have to literally ask them to do your like a complete blood work. They will check for your thyroid. They will check for like literally like, and it's called a CBC. Okay, you want a complete blood count. That's what that stands for. There's a lot of acronyms for a lot of different medical terminologies. Okay, I we we encourage everyone to do their own research, and we encourage everyone to understand and learn, because putting it off will create not just, it's gonna harm you in the end. Okay, we are already in a position where medical do not care for us. Like, we have to be our own advocates a lot of the time. That's how it is. That's just unfortunately how it is. I'll never forget, and this is a side note, my mom years ago, right? And this was when she had a stroke. Okay. She went to the emergency room, all right, and she was having a stroke. She was having a stroke. Okay. I knew my mother was having a stroke by the symptoms and everything. Well, the ER said she was under the influence of alcohol. She was an alcoholic and she was going through alcohol withdrawal. I've
Mhm.
never seen my mother drink a day in her life. Never. And I was like, excuse me? What the hell? So, of course, because they didn't think that this woman had anybody to advocate for her, but her daughter, who is a beast. Oh no, we had some problems. And it was Charlton Methodist on Wheatland. That's the hospital that we took her, that she went to. Um, if you are familiar with that hospital, then you would know the complaints that people have had on that hospital in the past. Okay. So, just by advocating for her, and let me tell you something, when something is in your chart, it's really hard to get, it's almost impossible to get that out of your chart. But because it was their mistake and they had an incompetent doctor within the ER, oh no, the director of the hospital literally called me and we had to get that removed, because I want you to know something. When you are in the hospital, every time you go, especially if it's that hospital, they know. They know what has been on your chart. Okay. So if there's anything about alcohol or drug use or anything like that, they will always use that against you. Okay. My brother used to like party and have like he used to drink a lot. And so he was being honest. Like when they asked him about his whether or not he would drink, like he was like, yeah, I drink. I drink. Um, but he wasn't an alcoholic, but they deemed him as an alcoholic and they did not take him serious. They did not. Um, and he was in severe pain. He had more problems than just the diabetes. He suffered from a lot of health problems. So, you know, I'm just like, dude, oh my God. So I found myself fighting with a lot of medical professionals over the end, over my family. But getting back to the diabetes situation, I myself found myself in a position where I was a diabetic. And I'm like, why? Why? And then I realized it was the food I was eating. I was cooking like my my family was. You know what I'm saying? It was like, no. So I started changing the way I ate. I do not eat anything from cans. I don't eat processed foods as much as possible. It has to be fresh. I do not eat farm raised seafood. Um, there has been a lot of things that I have changed. Um, Now, when as far as my weight is concerned, it wasn't just I was just eating and I did not know how to push away from the table. I was on birth control, and birth control will cause, I don't care what it is, it has a hormone in it. It caused me to gain so much weight. After I got rid of the birth control, guess what happened to that weight? Goodbye. 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 My A1C became normal afterwards. But getting back to the diabetes stuff, make sure you ask them to do a complete blood count. Okay. Do not let these people fool you. Do not let these medical professionals fool you and make it seem like you know nothing. Okay. If you go in there, like I treat it as if I'm going to a car dealership. I always let the salesperson know I drove in here. I didn't walk in here. I'm not desperate. Like seriously. Mm. So, and it makes a difference. Now, I'm not saying be disrespectful because I do want to say one thing. Medical professionals go through so much. They see so much. I applaud those that are really into it for help, that truly want to help people. I applaud them. Fortunately for me, I have had great experiences with medical professionals, except for one time, and that just happened this year. I was hospitalized, and that'll be a story I'll talk about a little bit later. Um, but getting back to that, you have to take control of your health, um, and it's not even just, to me personally, it's not just about oh hey okay, so we're talking about diabetes. I'm sorry to cut myself out, but I want to acknowledge her question. We're talking about diabetes and what you should do when you go to the doctor, whether or not it's your employee backed insurance or insurance that you receive through the Affordable Health Care Plan, which I that's the only thing that helped me. After I left my previous job, I had no insurance. And unfortunately, I had a medical scare where I was in the hospital. I felt like I was dying. Okay, I had a intestinal blockage. Okay, and it was so I was in so much pain. I passed out from the pain. Nothing. So that's when, I mean, I knew it was important, but I'm just like, God dang, I need to get some insurance. So I did whatever I could, and I'll put the guy who I got insurance through. Actually, hopefully we can have him on the show. I'm gonna see if he can come on the show and talk about it as well, since this is our segment for today. So I'm gonna try to get him to see if he can come on Wednesday. But when I tell you I got such a good plan, it was even better for me versus my own job. Um, so all this talk about, the Affordable Care Act, it doesn't give you great insurance. I don't know about anybody else, but I receive good insurance. Some people don't have to pay. I did. I chose a plan where I did have to pay. And it was, what's that? Like you spend like $20 at a fast food restaurant. Like that's nothing when it's compared to your health. Um, So back to the issue at hand. We know that diabetes can affect all internal organs, your kidneys, your heart, your pancreas, your liver, all of that because it's not working right. Um, Once you are considered a diabetic, I do want to express this. You will always be a diabetic. You are considered always a diabetic. Now it can go into what is called remission, but you will always be a diabetic. So you have to really take care of yourself 100%. Um, my daughter right now is a surgical technologist, and she has experienced so many situations within the OR that has been an effect of so many primary diseases or autoimmune diseases that has led to secondary issues. Um, so look, it's real, y'all. It's real. My brother did not have to die. I wish I could have changed it, but God said otherwise. Um, that's why a lot of diabetics, if you notice, especially us, where are they? What happens when your kidneys fail? When that creatinine level is super high and your kidney fail, what happens? You end up having to go do a what, Ferman? Tell me.
Dialysis.
Dialysis. Dialysis, man. Dialysis. When you go to dialysis treatment centers, you see us. You see us most of the time. So it's horrible. But that's why I chose not only to remove that birth control to regulate my weight, but I chose to change my diet. Um, and after I changed my diet, y'all, when I tell y'all that weight came off of me so fast, I was never meant to be as big as I was. And that's literally what it was. I was never meant to be as big as I was. I've always been a small person, and I did not gain weight until I would say when I got that birth control, I would say my mid-30s. That's when that weight started to pack on. I remember after I started to lose weight, people were like, "Oh, you got gastric," and I was like, "Look, I'm not against any type of procedure that would help you lose weight, but I didn't get gastric. Like, no, I didn't even technically qualify for any of that." Um, Zay did want to say something. She's okay, so I'll put that up. She said it's crazy how even at the nail shops too, they won't clip your nails if you have diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
So what they won't do is remove your cuticles because they use sharp instruments. They will clip your nails, but they won't remove your cuticles. A lot of times you have to tell them though. Um, as like it's not sterile. You have to remember when you are a diabetic, you are prone to things like neuropathy. And if you know what neuropathy is, it is the cellular annihilation of your nerves that causes, and neuropathy sucks. Okay, it can cause burning, pain, numbness, and areas. Most of the time, and you mentioned earlier about amputations. most of the times it affects the lower and the reason is because diabetics have a hard time, oh man, a hard time to heal from the healing process is beyond, like, where it would take a healthy person who like get cut a couple of days for that wound to heal. It might take 3 weeks. uh my mother, who is an insulin dependent diabetic, and this is why I say I don't care if your insulin, your A1C level is low, you will always be a diabetic. So my mom A1C, because like I've been on that ass. Like she lived with me after my brother passed. And y'all, let me tell you, baby, she couldn't fry nothing here. She was like, you trying to kill me with that boiled and that steamed broccoli every night, love. You want me to eat some grilled chicken? Like to this day, she fucking hates chicken. She hates the stuff, but mind you, she hated it. Um, but guess what? She lost so much weight when she lived with me. She was the healthiest she had ever been. And later on, now she still takes medication. She's on Ozempic. I'm not the biggest fan of Ozempic because of all the side effects, but you know what? It works for her. Um, her A1C is perfect. It's so good, but she's still considered a diabetic. And
Right.
she recently had her toe amputated, unfortunately. Um, yeah, it really sucks. She We're praying that her healing is okay, that she heals perfectly. Um, it looks good, like, and oh, I want a picture of it. Hold on. That did the surgery. It really made it look so good. So it was successful. Let's put it that way. But there are people who are not successful when it comes to surgery. And chime in anytime, Ferman. Don't let me just like talk about it. Like, please, please. I just I'm just passionate about it because I lost my brother
Right. Right.
over it. My mom suffered very painful. I had to suffer through it. So please, please, please chime in. Yeah, don't just let me just talk about it, because I can talk about it all day because that's how passionate I feel about it.
Right.
Um, but I do want to show y'all a picture of her foot. And I did get permission, so it is okay. Hopefully I'm able to hopefully I'm able to unfortunately I'm not able to uh email it or whatever, but hopefully I can show y'all through this phone. But while I'm looking for me,
Oh yeah, 'cause I was just reading what Herman said, and the company said, yeah, when I was at the city of Dallas, I had a coworker who died from that also. I know law enforcement, I think it should be implemented when it comes to law enforcement, being fit for duty per se. Because I know when I came from the sheriff department back in my hometown of Mobile, we had a training sergeant. He would always see where we at when it came to our health, exercise, stuff like that. Because in our line of work, we eat a lot of bad food.
yeah,
Buffalo Wild Wings, Wingstop, hamburgers, French fries, pizza, and we eat that stuff every single freaking day. And when it comes to because in our line of work, it's a dangerous work that we do because you
Yeah.
have to physically defend yourself if you're being physically attacked by an inmate, right?
Yeah.
But if you're not in top notch shape, you gonna lose, and it's gonna be a minute for anybody to come to assist.
You know, I've been there. I've been there. And I feel like that's one topic we definitely have to talk about our job. And I'm so willing to get it out there. I want to get it out there for sure. Because what I endured at that job, oh my God, it's been so much. But it led me to say, you know what, I've had enough. So, it is what it is. But you're absolutely correct.
Yeah, because it has to be. In my personal opinion, it should be implemented more. That's my personal opinion. It's not for everybody, but you just can't. It will affect you. I'm tell you something, man. I don't know what we talking about this for. I don't know why we talking about this. If you ever notice
All
when inmates always exercising, they may not know how to fight, but they do it for endurance. They do it when you have to have long winded. So if they
right.
do get into an altercation, the person that may be dominant eventually will get tired, but they won't get tired. But it's all about the endurance of the thing and protecting yourself. I don't know why we talking about this. I guess somebody need to hear this. I don't know. But
Yeah.
you have to look at yourself as an investment. He said always grab something quick and fast and get it. Yeah, we do that a lot because we don't cook. We don't cook. We go, oh, I don't have time to cook, but we have time to go to McDonald's, Whataburger,
Hmm.
Jack in the Box. And you
How
got to
about
think
that?
about it. Around where we work at, it's a lot of fast food joints.
Yeah. 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 You're absolutely correct. And you have to
So
wonder why.
go ahead, though.
I don't know if y'all can see this here. Let's see. Hopefully you can. Let me see if I can turn down the light because I want you all to see this here. This is what happened when my mom's foot became gangrene.
Hold on, right quick. I'm gonna do a solo thing right quick.
Okay, hold on. Maybe not. Hold on. Let me go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and just transfer. But go ahead and talk. I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can send it to my email.
Okay.
That's what.
Cause like I was like getting back to what Herman said, he was always grabbing something quick and fast and get ready to get back to. Well, yes, we do. Because if you look at it around the downtown area, there's a lot of fast food joints. You have McDonald's, you have Whataburger, you have Burger King, you have Domino's. All was it Riverfront? All down that strip down there. There's a lot of fast food joints, and we want to grab all that stuff. And that stuff gonna catch up with you in the long run. You eat it today, and what it is, like we eating this stuff every single day.
Of
We're
course.
not doing it every other day. We eating it every single day. Especially doing 8 hours. Okay, then you doing 16 hours. You're doing. You're buying more poison. You put more poison into the body.
Yeah, that is so true.
And then eventually it gets up with us.
And I want to ask, you know what? If anybody have any type of opinions, I want to ask, why do you think that in the Black communities or communities that are predominantly Black or workplaces, why is it? Do you think that it is a tactic as providing these type of fast food areas for us? Like, think about it. Like, you have to really think about it, and when you think about that, then you will understand. Like, you will definitely understand. Like, I don't
Well,
understand. Like, you will get it.
the thing about it is, let's just be honest with you. Let's keep it a buck here. The pharmaceutical companies do not want you healthy. If they wanted you, they will put them out of business. Literally put them out of business. So they put us on a different type of medication. They're not gonna tell you that okay, this is what you need to eat in order to reverse to put everything in back into remission. What they
Mm.
gonna do? They gonna put you on medication. It's like if you have high blood pressure, instead of them telling you, okay, you need to lay off the pork and everything else, oh, we're gonna put you on high blood pressure pills. Let's keep them
And let
employed.
me tell y'all something. So, you know what? I have done countless research, and I used to be a big fan because if anybody who knows me knows that prior to my brother's death, I was trying to get into medical school, which would not have been a hard thing for me to do. I was literally at the doorstep. Okay. So I did so much research and specifically about diabetes and his heart issue. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
because I just felt like the need. I felt like I needed to save my brother. Um, the day he had his heart attack. Oh, girl. I'm sorry, but the day he had his heart attack, it did something to me. But hey, I want to share something about what Zay said. She said half of those medications are placebos. Baby, they say it's not, but I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. I am 100% with you. Okay, I will stop talking about the whole death issue because I can understand that grief is hard. But I'm with you. I feel like you are 100% correct as far as that is concerned. Because, baby, what? What? Mm, mm. I don't even know what to say about that. That's some bullshit. So I want to show y'all this here. So I can show it. Okay. So y'all see that? Yeah. Do you see the gangrene on her second toe, close to her
Mm-hmm.
great toe?
Let me see if I could do a full string layout. All right.
So I want to talk about this here. So my mom scraped her toe in November of 2025, 2024. I know you're diabetic, and it can it can take a very long time for your foot to heal. Okay, so I understand that. I definitely get it. But at the same time, it doesn't look good. And of course, she was like, "Oh, it's okay." I don't know why she thought she can take that scab off and it'll be okay. Well, it only made it worse. And
Mm-hmm.
then that toe started looking even more horrible. I said, "You need to that check." It wasn't just the diabetes; it was her cholesterol. It was the blockages within those main arteries that talked about, that as far as how to make one that literally was like on her that she needed to do better because it was not like she needed to be proactive, but unfortunately it just didn't work that way. She waited until January of 2025. She went to Parkland Memorial Hospital. Okay, they did what is called an angioplasty. Okay, angiogram and then an angioplasty. If no one knows what that is, hey, we are here to enlighten you because we want you to understand what all of these things are because it is so important. As far as an angiogram, so let's talk about that. So, an angiogram is basically a medical procedure using X ray imaging and a contrast dye that shows or visualize the blood vessels and diagnose conditions like blockages. So that is what she has to endure initially. Okay, that the surgeon or the vascular professional, what they where the blockages are at. And I want to say something. I know her feet look super dry, but that's part of her diabetes. You can literally put lotion on her foot like that morning, and they will look like that night. And I have to remind people that when you that when you have dry feet, it can create micro cuts, and that is not good, especially for diabetics or people that suffer from, you know, basically, just blockages. Look, don't look. Just make sure your feet are well taken care of. Okay. As far as the angioplasty, so they after they did that, they had to do the angioplasty. So the angioplasty is an invasive procedure, and it opens up the blocked or narrowed artery, most commonly the coronary arteries that is a supply to the heart. Okay, and it's a supply method that comes from the heart. You have to remember, the heart is like a blood pump. It's not dealt with, oh, my feelings of the heart. No, that's the heart literally pumps blood to everything. Okay. So taking care of your heart is the number one thing. You have to be able to do it. Okay. So she went ahead and got the angioplasty. I have to warn people though about this here. When we talk about angioplasty, um, there is a chance. There is always a chance when it comes to procedures or surgical procedures that um, will cause problems for you. In her case, I believe that the angioplasty was pressing down on her nerves. So she was in extreme pain, extreme pain. She went to a different, and Parkland just felt like they would not listen to her. Her foot was swollen, her leg was swollen. Okay. And whenever you have one leg that is swollen, not the other, you have to understand that's a problem. That's a problem. Okay. Um, but look, I'm just like, Mama, get a second opinion, go to a different doctor. And I hate that doctors are literally pushing to do, oh, do this surgery, do this surgery. I hate that, especially when patients does not understand what is going on. As far as the second doctor, she went to a doctor that is affiliated with Methodist Hospital, um, Dr. Korn and Dr. Fleischer, and I'll talk about Dr. Fleischer in just a second. So Dr. Korn, and I was there for that for that freaking consultation. And I felt like this man literally rushed my mom out. Did not explain to her exactly his true intentions or what he's going to plan to do. He just did not explain as well as he should have. Um, yeah, he said in his notes that he cleaned up a little bit behind Parkland, but she was still in pain. If not, I feel like she was in worse pain. And he also did an angioplasty to the other leg. Okay. Um, so it just was not a good situation. She was in so much pain. Let me tell y'all something. Only time I've ever seen my mom. Okay, that's the only freaking time. Only freaking time. Other than that, no. So when I see my mama crying, I knew she was going through some issues. I knew she was going through some pain. So, oh, it's just bad. I don't know. It's just a bad situation. I'm trying to show y'all the. Hold on. I'm gonna find it. I'm trying to show y'all the post-op. Um, her with the toe being removed. Hold on. Lord, where the heck is it? Because I want y'all to see how, because she not only changed her vascular doctor at the end, she changed her podiatrist. He was trash. I told her he was trash, and she didn't believe me, but he was trash. Everything that he was doing was not good. Okay. Um, she she went to a always get mad for somehow they always seem to have an attitude when you change doctors. I'm just like, get a freaking second opinion. Like, what the heck? I
Yeah,
don't, huh? Like,
nothing
what
wrong
the
with that.
heck? Like, yeah, it's nothing wrong with that. Um,
But also, I'm going to ask this too before you go any further. Does it affect your mental health when you having a body part amputated? I know a lot of people can't deal with that
yes, yes,
mentally.
yes, yes, most definitely. I think that's why a lot of women go through different issues. And remember the lady that was on our show that talked about breast cancer and how she
Mm-hmm.
felt after having the mastectomy?
Right.
Most definitely. Most definitely. Even though this was and she only had her second toe removed, but you have to understand something. That is a body part, and nonetheless, it's not less important. Okay. Hey, Misha. Thanks for coming on and thanks for listening. Um, we're talking about diabetes. So if anybody wants to share their stories about diabetes, please help. And please feel free to speak your mind because this is information that people need to hear. Um, so getting back to that, it does affect your mental health. You know what I'm saying? That's nanny feet. Be quiet. Yes, it's nanny feet. It affects your mental health most definitely. What is that? Um, it is what it is. It is what it is. Hold
Yeah,
on.
because I would think that because I know everybody deal with things differently, and then when you
Yeah.
lose like a body part, it affects you mentally, where you look like you being a freak or all type of stuff runs through your mind, where people end up turning to drugs
Yeah.
per
Yeah.
se.
Well, I don't know if it's drugs. I think it's you
What?
have to understand something. Medications that you take, as far as pain is concerned, might not necessarily, like, if you take it correctly, they won't be addictive. But you will, like, say for instance, if you are on, let's just say, hydrocodone, or I don't know, some people give oxycodone or whatever. Um, you have to understand something. If someone is on a medication for a long period of time, especially medications that affect your your natural pain receptors,
Hmm.
it will have an effect on you. You will literally get what the slang term is dope sick, or you would get withdrawals. Okay. It's the same thing with mental health medications. Okay. You can get like you can have withdrawal situations with mental health medications. So I hate that when people are on pain medications, they assume that, oh, that's what it is. Like, they are um that is the, like, oh, then they're taking too much medication, or they're addicted to their medication. It is addictive, most definitely. But if you take your medications correctly, just remember this. It can still have effects on you the same as withdrawals. Okay. So it is the same. Um, okay, so I want to show y'all so bad. Okay, I'm gonna find those pictures, y'all. I'm gonna find them.
But I also want to ask these too about the the support system. When I say support system, support from loved ones and family members when we have to deal with things like that as well. To keep them encouraged. Did you really keep them encouraged? 'Cause I know a lot of times we can easily slip off into depression, right?
Oh yeah.
If we're not careful, because we feel like I'm a freak. I'm just saying, like, you feel like I'm a freak. People gonna look at me, they gonna stare at me when I walk places, and that's that stuff plays on mental capacity, where we end up
Hmm.
slipping off into depression. We're not careful, but having that close knit support system to keep you going, right?
Yeah.
Kind of.
No, you're right. Support is most definitely the best thing you gotta have. Um, Not just because of you just need support, because if you don't have support when you're sick, you feel alone. Thankfully, when I have had acute situations, um, when I have been sick, like for instance, um, recently when I had my stomach situation, y'all, when I tell y'all my family really came through. They really came through. And I felt like a little special princess. But I was so sick, y'all. I was so sick. It was bad. I was hospitalized for a long time. And it just was not a fun situation. No one wants to be in the hospital. It was literally driving me crazy. Um so just remember, support is everything. No one wants No one wants to not be supported within their journey, especially when they're sick. Okay, no one wants that. So look, if you have a loved one, please support them. Support them. It's so important because you just never know. It is so important.
Right.
Um, yeah. I mean, on your journey with diabetes, Ferman, have you had? What's your support system? Who is your support system?
Oh well, I know my mom. Cause my mom, she's one. You know what? I never really told nobody. A lot of people didn't know that I was type 2. I didn't tell nobody. I mean, you know
Yeah.
about it, but I'm just saying everybody. I didn't broadcast to a lot of people. I just not said something about it, but I never really broadcast it like that because me. I didn't want. People use stuff for clout, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. And I didn't want to be one of those who lose that for clout. Now, I would use it as a testimony because yes, everything went into remission, but I still have to monitor everything, and that was information I shared with people. But my mom and stuff like that, because I ain't gonna lie, I hit the ground running. Once I was diagnosed, I started doing everything. I started buying the foods I needed to eat. I just hit the ground running because I took that as motivation.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to.
But
You got to take the control over your health. I'm so glad that you did that. It's so important. Yeah. No, you're absolutely correct. I
Well,
agree.
Herman. Oh, sorry. Herman got left a comment too in the comment section.
What he said?
Herman said, that's it right there. I'll let you read it.
I can only imagine how someone that has to go through that must feel. Yeah. I wish my mama was here so she can explain. Um, yeah, yeah, she can explain what in the world
But
because
it happens every day.
yeah,
It happens every day. Matter of fact, it happening right now as we speak. Someone is losing a body part right now. So we just have to be mindful and thankful and always learn from people. Always learn. I just believe like this, Larissa. We should always learn
yeah,
from things that people go through with their experience. We should learn from it. And a lot of people like that. I ain't gonna lie. Low, some people they show no excuses. They'll live their life normal. They accept it and they go back to living a normal life. Even though it's different, but having a support system, being encouraged, just to change your life. It's all about changing your lifestyle. Ladies and gentlemen, those who listen to us tonight here on the Just Saying Podcast, it's all about changing your lifestyle and give yourself mercy and grace. That's another thing. Give
Yeah.
yourself mercy and grace because you're restarting all over again. So don't beat yourself up when you miss the mark. You know what I'm saying? Just pick yourself up, give yourself mercy and grace because I look at it as we retraining ourselves.
Yeah.
So it's like a child when you first learn how to walk. You fell down. Eventually, you got up and you just continue on walking. It's the same thing when it comes to our health. Just you gonna fall down, you get right back up. And what I did too, I just started adding structure. That's another thing too, Larissa. I like the structure, and I did some research on that too. Having a structured life, and I also from the spiritual side of things, also went biblical as well, and I applied the scripture in Ephesians when it said, "Yet no man hate his own flesh, but nourish and cherish it." So I looked up the word nourish, and nourish is nutrition, growth. Cherish is all about protection. So we should protect ourselves at all costs. We should always want to grow, not just in our health wise, but we also want to grow. Anything that should make us better, we should want to do it. If that makes sense.
Oh,
Everybody to come
most
up with a better
definitely.
version of yourself.
It
But
does.
any information, and we're truly blessed, ladies and gentlemen. So we truly blessed. We have so much with the knowledge right at our fingertips. We should take advantage of it as well. We are and a lot of times we run into so much foolishness, we run into a
Hmm.
lot of gossip, we run into a lot of rumors, spectators assuming things, but instead of taking all that energy and put it towards something negative, you need to take and put it towards something positive,
Yeah.
if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Oh no, it makes complete sense. Complete sense. I, you like it makes complete sense. Like I don't. Yeah, most definitely. Um, as far as your weight journey right now, how are you feeling? Are you
I'm
feeling
feeling
good
great.
about yourself?
Oh, I'm
Good.
feeling great. Turning heads, you know what I'm saying? Clothes fitting
Ah,
nice. You know what I'm saying? Like clothes fitting nice. I'm looking
turn the head.
youthful.
Okay.
The age, even though I'm still a
You're
young
right,
man.
your brother. Turn them heads, baby. Turn them
Yeah,
heads.
like I
But
said, go ahead.
be careful, because if them hoes didn't see your value, did I say that? If them bitches didn't see your value prior to it, then are they really worth it? Are they really worth it? No.
Right.
Like, so
All right.
remember
You're right
that.
about that.
Like, don't be no fool now, my friend. I'm
Oh
here
no,
to
you
tell
never want to be that, but also, man, just loving yourself, valuing yourself, man, loving yourself, being married to yourself, owning yourself. That's the most important thing. Get a vision for who you want to be, folks. Look at
yeah.
yourself as an investment. I say this too, Larissa. And I said this too on the other platform. Nobody's not gonna come on your front door and tell you to get your life together. It's not gonna happen. Nobody's not gonna save you. You got to get up and save yourself. Even salvation is not gonna come to your door. You gotta want salvation. That's just how it is. But you have to learn, love yourself. Don't lose yourself. Don't lower your standards for anybody, and don't lower your standards to be with anybody too, ladies and gentlemen. If they did not value, like you mentioned earlier, don't go with okie doke now. Just
Amen.
yeah, don't
Amen
don't.
to that.
You got here a lot of people say they lose themselves. Man, don't you don't do it. Man, don't do it.
Yeah,
Don't.
you can't forget about the people that have been in your life.
Yeah,
You can't.
always give honor to the people that's in your life. Always. That's another thing too, ladies and gentlemen. The people that have your best interests at heart, always acknowledge them as well, because you want people in your life that's going to tell you the truth. You don't want people that's going to tell you what you want to hear. You want people that's going to tell you what you need to hear. Yeah, you may get upset. Yeah, you may feel some type of way, but then once you get out of your feelings, And you be like, you know what? They really do. She really do care about me. Or he really does care about me. Yeah, I didn't see it at the time. But it's like, you know what? You're right. And the Bible does talk about that too. When you correct somebody, they will come back and love you for that. They may not do it right then and there, but they'll think about it like, you know what? I appreciate you what you told me. Yeah, I didn't see it at that time because I was ignorant to the fact, but what you said really was important. That's love. And I think a lot of times too,
Yeah,
but listen, it's hard to accept people who love you the
yeah,
most, and cause we never really experienced that. It's like, okay, I do a lot of loving, but I'm not getting it back. So it messes with you mentally. It's like, okay, why this person here? Do they really care about me? What do they want from me? But really, just help me out with this. Just help me out with that. I'm just
Give me 1 second, cause here go a little attention seeker. Go ahead, come on, please. You took this off? No. Why? Cause I said so. My little attention seeker. Look, let me tell you something. When these babies don't want you to show any attention to anybody, baby, you ain't gonna show no attention to nobody else except them. Okay, that's how it is. But I gotta do my grandmotherly duty and babysit. That's
hey,
how it is.
it's
Uh,
understandable.
oh, he out. He mad. He mad, man. Have any picture? Look, you know what? I know you said you want me to help you out real quick, but I would love, like, while I'm doing it, I would love to show some before and after pictures.
Okay.
I think that's so important on your weight loss journey. Do it,
Mm-hmm.
my friend. I need you to do it.
I
Yes.
downloaded some. Let me see if I could.
All you gotta do is just go to your email. Yeah.
Let me see image file. Let me see.
And I'm gonna show some of mine too
Let me see.
because so while you're doing that, then that's what I'll do. I just show my before and
Yes, I
after.
did it right. Okay. Okay. You see where I was right
Yes,
now.
baby.
You you see
So
the
important.
before. You see
Oh,
the
see what I'm talking
before,
about?
and you see where
Yes.
I'm at right now. That is today. You see how fat my face was. I ain't gonna lie, man. When you
Yeah.
miserable, I ain't gonna lie. You really hate yourself, and you gotta man up. And you know you gotta tell yourself, "Hey, I'm better than this. I know I'm better than this." I'm gonna have to. I will say what I would have say, but this is PG. But had to share that when we go live on TikTok one of these days on uncensored version for a lot of the fellas. Anyway, that's another broadcast. But just the big difference. That's what I want to
Yeah.
say.
Yeah. I feel like I'm so proud of you, little brother, because let me tell you something. It takes a lot of courage. Number one, to make yourself vulnerable. Okay. Just in general. As far as it does to talk about the things about yourself. Um, I have zero problems. I will look. Because I want the next person um to feel for you. And let me tell you something. On your journey, you can't let people discourage you, okay? Because there are haters out there and they do not have your best interests at heart. They want to see you sick. I'll never forget, I was literally having a diabetic issue. I was having a diabetic issue at work, but because no one knew my health problem because I was so private, they was like, "What's wrong with her? Is she drunk?" Look, I don't drink. Ever since COVID, I don't even drink socially. But they
Mhm.
literally had that on my black ass. I'm like, "Excuse me, huh? I don't fucking drink. Like, period. I don't drink at all." And I was so appalled and so pissed off. And I was like, "Bitch, I'm having a goddamn I'm having a damn diabetic situation. If you really want to fucking help me, goddamn me, get me a soda or something because I felt like my sugar was super low at the time because I was trying to do the most. I was trying to fast. I was trying to do a lot of things, just to lose some weight. Um, because I did not want to be a diabetic. I didn't want to take shots on a daily basis. I didn't want to do any of that crap. You know what I'm saying? That is something that I just did not want to do. Um, it was something I didn't want to do, and I was like,
Yeah,
no.
and I said
Mm-mm.
that's nothing to play with.
Yeah, yeah.
And you
So
gotta
I
think
do.
about it too. That's affect your work too, because when your sugar,
Oh shit. Okay, wrong one.
go ahead.
Sorry.
Confidence said when
That's
your
something
sugar's
from
out of line,
school.
you got to go home too. You can't be at work either like that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So
Or you
I was
pull
just like,
your
because yeah, you can't. And look, I'm just like, man, oh my God. Like, oh God, those people made me so fucking frustrated. And I'm just like, these people here at my job, they're so fucking stupid. And I was like, you know what? I'm not about to deal with these folks. I'm not. I'm not about to deal with these people. Because at the end of the day, no, I'm way worth more than that. So fuck it. Nope. No, 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 no. I will not. I'll never forget another coworker had the same issue, and but I recognized it. And I knew she was having a diabetic crisis. And I was like, okay, let's go ahead and do this here. This is when I was a supervisor. And I was like, okay, because I've seen it so many times with my mom and my family members. So I'm just like, no, no, I need to go ahead. Let's go ahead and do that. Have you taken your medication? All that good old stuff. Like what have you done? I want to know. So, yeah, most definitely. So let me show y'all these pictures real quick. Let's see if this is it. Oh shit. Okay, wrong one. Hold on.
yes.
Let me remove that one. Because I want to show y'all the difference in my weight loss after I removed the birth control, which is what I said that caused me weight. I was on what was I on? I was on the Mirena. The Mirena, and that was the 5 year birth control. But what I wasn't told was it was the same hormone as the Depo-Provera shot. Okay. And baby, and I knew something was wrong because I gained like 15 pounds within a month without changing my eating habits. I was like, huh?
Mm.
And when I went back to my doctor, he was like, "Oh, don't worry about it. It's okay. I mean, which one you have to outweigh the good or the bad, though. Low, he actually called me low because that's how, like, close we are. He was like, you have to outweigh the good or bad. Do you want to get pregnant again or not? And I was like, fuck no, I don't want any more kids. Hell no. Put it in me. So, but I did not want that freaking weight. That right
Mm.
there was, oh my God. Oh God. And man, when I tell y'all, oh my God, it was horrible. Yeah, I didn't want that weight. Oh man, why am I keep on pulling up this crap? Okay, hold on. I don't even know why it keeps on. I don't even know why it keeps on pulling it up. I don't even know why. Uh, hmm, that's
Yeah,
weird.
just take your time. Let me see.
We can all. It's already been an hour because it's this your topic. We can talk a lot about it. If you guys, but we can go ahead and get on off because I know that's just way time is. You got to go to work in the morning. But look, I want y'all to tune in Wednesday because I think this discussion deserves more talk about it. Um, that way I have my pictures together.
Okay.
So, and then I can have somebody on the show. I'll try to get my mom on the show. And then get the pictures from her surgery. Because this is something that needs to be talked about. Y'all just don't know how important it is. Okay. Um, but look, my friend, look, I'm just tripping over your picture. My friend did he put in the work and he did good.
Oh
Um,
yeah, it's
yes,
awesome. Like I said, I'm thankful.
yes.
I am thankful. So it's, hey, take love yourself. You know what I'm saying? Love yourself
Mm-hmm.
as well. Cause sooner I gotta get off this show, I'm gonna take my vitamins anyway. Cause I gotta take my vitamins anyway. So make
Yeah.
sure I do
Wait,
all
wait.
that.
What kind of vitamins are you taking?
My multivitamins, vitamin C, my beetroots, I take that as well. Also, we know with circulation, blood flow, stuff like that.
Why aren't you eating beets?
I do got. I bought some the other day. I mean, I
Oh,
fixed that the other day for dinner.
okay,
So, I,
okay. Well, then I can see. Go ahead, do your thing.
yes,
I
I
do
have all
want
that.
to, yeah, I do want to say this here about vitamins real quick before we leave. Um, remember this: vitamins is a part of the industry that goes unchecked. Okay, you really don't know what you're taking. Like I started taking magnesium that helped me when I was going through my concussion. I've had like at least four to five concussions that
Hmm.
really caused some issues with me. Um, when I tell y'all it was stuff that basic stuff that I could not remember. I could not remember. It was horrific. But that magnesium nearly, well, the kind that I got nearly killed me. It, yeah, it nearly killed me because it had vitamin B in it. That
Hmm.
I don't know why I did not realize it had vitamin B. I don't know. It was cheaper. Hmm. Plus, I bought another vitamin B supplement, so I literally had toxicity from my vitamins.
Mm.
So remember that, okay? Do some good research on the vitamins that you take, okay?
That's
Uh,
important.
Now I know the FDA isn't like, oh, all Almighty, they will let shit slide through, okay? If for the right price. Don't care what nobody say. But remember this here, just be careful and be mindful of what you're putting in your body. Remember that God already put things in your body that you need, okay? He supplies you with everything. So
Right.
remember that. He supplies you with the foods that you need to supplement for the things that you need in addition. So necessarily taking vitamins isn't always the best. Now, I'm not trying to discourage anybody. I'm just stating facts. Here in the state of Texas, they do not regulate vitamins and what's in it. Okay. And I have my information down for you with the law that states that. Okay. Because look, I fact check, we fact check everything, okay? And moving forward, we want you guys to really be aware of is um, what is true and what is not true, because anybody can say anything, right?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
I can,
Most
I can sit
definitely.
here and say that I got like $2 million in the bank, but that might not be true. Okay. But I can be very convincing and be like, no, I ain't worried about that, sweetheart. My bank account is in the millions. Do you think that I need that? Like, but at the end of the day, I might be broke as hell. You never know. So, with that being said, because of time, um, I encourage everybody, because this was such a great topic. Tune in Wednesday. Tune in on Wednesday, y'all. We will be here at what time, Ferman?
5 o'clock.
5 p.m. I'm so sorry for the delay, y'all. My car was jacked up. Okay. So my car, but it's gonna be good on Wednesday, okay? Because I'm gonna have a rental. So y'all, look, we are going, and I hope we have made a difference in the things that you guys have learned today. But on Wednesday, I hope you get even more from this conversation. Okay. Because we're not just out here just talking, just to be talking, or just trying to get numbers for our podcast. We are trying to talk about things that will actively affect for the good of our community. Whether or not, and don't get me twisted, whether or not you're black, white, brown, it does not matter. Yellow, like we want everybody to do well in their life and prolong their life as long as
Oh yeah.
possible. Okay. Remember, God gives you choices. Okay, He gives you a choice, but He provides you those things. But you have to show. You have to choose. That's what free will is about. Okay. Thank you guys from Low for tuning in. We appreciate you. We love you. Ferman.
Hey, summed it up right there. Hey, we appreciate y'all. We love y'all, man. Y'all have y'all a great night. Enjoy the rest of y'all Sunday evening. And we will see y'all here Wednesday at 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern. If you're on the East Coast, Central Time Zone is 5 p.m. East Coast, 6 p.m. To then, we'll see y'all Wednesday. So,
Say
peace,
peace.
everybody.
Bye. Bye. This boy. Good boy, I swear to God.